Hey, how are we doing, everyone? Welcome back. So today we're going to be taking a look at a manifesto from the British Motorcyclists Federation at what they propose for the next general election here in the UK to try and benefit motorcyclists. So let's take a look at this article here. So the baddest motherfucker the British Motorcyclists Federation, who are apparently in partnership with the National Motorcyclist Council. Oh, interesting. Maybe I need to... Sounds like the Jedi Council, doesn't it? I need to join that, don't I? I need to become a member. I need to become a Jedi Master. But they've launched a manifesto for motorcycling which lays out priorities for a future government on motorcycle policy and sets out a compelling strategy to fully unlock the benefits that motorcycling can bring to the future of transport. I love that phrase, that sentence, that paragraph, because as much as in the eyes of millennials and in the eyes of just the general public, how that motorcycles are dangerous, they're these dangerous things, they're these rebellious things. Honestly, there are so many benefits to riding motorcycles. If you live in a big town or city and you're like me, you get stressed out getting home because it takes you an hour, 2 hours to get home because of congestion, traffic, get a motorcycle. Seriously, it's an absolute no-brainer, and you'll never have to worry about that ever again. I used to work in between cities, and it was bad trying to get out of one city, and then it was bad again trying to get into another town or city at rush hour. Between 8, 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock at night, if you do that 9 to 5 grind, please look at getting a motorcycle. Seriously, it will totally revolutionize your life, and you'll have so much more time at home, free time. Even if it's only 10 minutes, it's still 10 minutes extra every single day that you are getting to yourself. Because you're not being paid for it. Remember, at the end of the day, you're not being paid for it from your work. So keep that in mind. But anyway, so as a general election looms closer, it is important that we make clear exactly what UK motorcycling needs from government. Whichever party is in power, motorcycling needs to be recognised as a key part of the solution to achieving net zero targets and be facilitated as a positive, low and zero polluting form of transport for commuting, logistics and leisure, said the baddest motherfucker chair, Jim Freeman. Okay. I'm not so sure about the net zero targets when it comes to this. It will seriously lower the pollution in towns and cities. Because imagine you've got a car. Most cars are taking one person to work. You got all that weight. You got that massive engine. Naturally, because it takes up more space, it's going to cause more congestion and cause more pollution because it's not moving. You put that person on a motorcycle, they're able to get everywhere quicker, and they're not going to pollute as much because they're not staying in the same place, not moving, and the motorcycle engines are smaller, they're lighter, it's only taking one person. It makes so much sense. Even scooters are part of this solution that these guys are proposing here. I don't know if it will help with net zero, but it will definitely have a huge impact on congestion and pollution, smog, things like that in towns and cities. It makes so much sense. And I kind of mentioned this in a previous recording about another video, which might be out yet, might not be, I don't know. But you kind of get this image of like Vietnam or India, of all these motorcycles riding around. It looks crazy, it looks mad, and it looks very, I don't know, it doesn't have a positive image, does it? It has an image of poverty and things like that. That is not true. The reason why these countries have those systems, the reason why so many people have bikes, because it's the best way to get around. It's the quickest, easiest, cheapest way to get around. Just goes back to my previous point. If you struggle to get in and out of town, getting to and from work, get yourself a motorcycle. Seriously, it's way better than a bus. I don't care what councils, governments say about, everyone should be using buses and subways and trains and all that. Get a bike. Seriously, it's so much easier. and you still have that freedom to get yourself wherever you need to go. Seriously, it's an absolute no-brainer. But 7 key points are included in the manifesto based on proposals from the BMF and other rider organisations, making bikes a genuine choice for transport by bringing them into the mainstream of transport policy is seen as central to the whole approach. Again, more people on bikes, the better. Other key points include improved training and testing, better and safer roads, decarbonisation, improved access to all roads, both tarmac and green roads. That's an interesting one. Recognition of UK motorcycle sport and motorcycling culture, keeping our heritage alive by allowing older bikes to stay on the road. Okay. Improved training and testing. I definitely think that is a big issue right now. Getting into bikes is really hard. Getting on a motorcycle to begin with, on a 125, isn't actually that difficult. You do a day's training, you do your CBT, you get a certificate, compulsory basic training, get a certificate, and that entitles you to ride a 125cc bike if you're over 17. Fairly straightforward. And that's fine, but there's a couple of issues. One, CBTs expire after 2 years, which doesn't seem to make much sense to me. If you've got that experience in 2 years of riding a motorcycle, well, why should you have to redo your CBT again? Doesn't make any sense. But also, the whole testing structure is a nightmare. Even me, when I try to do videos about it to try and help people on how they can get through the process of riding bikes or how they can get their license, even I get confused, man. It's impossible. Before, when I did it, it was confusing when I did it. You still had the Mod 1, you still had the Mod 2. This was back in 2009, I think it was. But if you were 17, you could do your Mod 1, direct access, do your Mod 1 and your Mod 2. So if you don't know, Mod 1 is like a test in an enclosed environment where you've got to do maneuvers. And then Mod 2 is actually a test on the road test. Once you've passed that, you're on A2 for 2 years and you automatically qualify for your A license. That's not the case anymore. Even right now, I'm struggling to remember how the whole A2 thing works. It's stupid, convoluted, and you can just tell it's been created by people who don't know what motorcycles are, never been on one in their life. Again, it's the same old bureaucratic nonsense that you see a lot these days. So training and testing is a big one. Better and safer roads. Obvious one. Everyone in the world will benefit from better and safer roads, right? How many of you ride around with potholes every single day? You ride past the same pothole all the time. It becomes such a big part of the routine that you automatically put yourself on that, if it's around a bend or something, automatically put yourself on that side of the road or that lane, whatever the case might be, to avoid that pothole. And then one day you end up taking that lane or taking that line on the road and there's another pothole right in front of you, which you end up hitting. Oh, yeah. Big issue. But it's not just the UK that has this issue. In France, it's the same, according to, well, we did a video recently about motorcycle MOTs in France and how there's lots of protesting about that. And their argument is the same. Why are you trying to force us to keep our motorcycles in tip-top shape, but you are not prepared to keep the roads in tip-top shape, which arguably is more important? You know what I mean? A pothole can cause a lot of problems for a motorcyclist. It can throw you off your bike. It can... My goodness. Can you imagine if there's traffic coming the opposite direction, you hit a pothole and it throws you off your bike and you go straight into that traffic? Oh, doesn't bear thinking about. But that is the impact that potholes can have. Let's have a look here. With nearly 1.5 million regular riders on UK roads and 3.5 million license holders, bikers make up a significant proportion of the electorate. It's not that significant though, is it? The motorcycle sector as a whole makes a big contribution to Britain's economy, with 58,000 employees and 5,500 businesses worth £7 billion per year. Yeah. It's important, isn't it? But 1.5 million regular riders on UK roads. I mean, let's ignore 3.5 million license holders because there's lots of people that have their motorcycle licenses but don't ride anymore for whatever reason. Fair enough. That's entirely up to them. That's their prerogative. So let's stick with the 1.5 million regular riders on UK roads. The population of the UK right now, I think, is between 70 and 80 million people. It's not really that significant. And how many of those people are scooter riders and 125cc riders? They haven't really got their license, have they? So I don't think you can count them as part of this group, a part of this culture. Yeah, sure, a percentage of them, hopefully, will get their licenses and they'll become part of the electorate, part of this group. But I don't think it's that many people, to be honest with you. But regardless, very important message, and I'm curious to see how this all plays out in the near future when it comes to our general election coming up. I think it's in November, is it? Just a couple of hours after recording this video, I found out that Rishi Sunak has called an early election. How interesting. So not far away at all, and it's looking more and more likely that we're going to have a Labour government. Do you know what? It's difficult, man. Because Conservatives, in the name, they like to keep things the way they are. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's kind of like their ideology. Whereas Labour like to just change things all the time. So even if they don't need to, for some reason, Labour do have a habit of getting involved more bureaucratically with things that they don't need to get involved with. So I don't know, man. When it comes to the general election, I don't know which way I'm going to be voting so far, but right now, I think we need a change, personally. I think Conservatives have been around for a long time now. They've had their chance, and arguably they haven't done the best job in the world. Yeah, okay, there's been issues outside of their control, but the way how they have managed those issues, like the pandemic, for example, like interest rates and inflation, I don't necessarily think they've done it as best as they could have done, especially with all of the what's the word? How destabilized the entire party is. If they were a stable party, maybe they could have done things much better, but there's a lot of right-wing sentiment in the Conservative Party right now, and I don't think we need right-wing sentiment, we need more centrist stuff, which, unfortunately, I think people like Rishi Sunak were, or they are, I should say were, they are, he is still the Prime Minister as of today's video, but he is more of a centrist. I know he's a Brexiteer and all that, but he is more of a centrist. His policies are more centrist, and when he was Chancellor, I know he's made a lot of mistakes, but when he was Chancellor, he saved my income. All right, when they did the whole furlough scheme, I was made redundant, and the furlough scheme saved me for 6 months. So yeah, really helped me out. So when something helps you directly, it's very difficult to not like a party when it has directly impacted your life. But I know it's the exact opposite for a lot of people. So I know this is getting a little bit political, and I don't mean it to. I'm really sorry. So we won't go into it too much longer. But it's going to be a difficult decision for me to make, and I'm sure it's going to be a difficult decision for a lot of people, especially for those hardline Conservative voters. But what the baddest motherfuckers, the British Motorcyclists Federation, what they're trying to do here and the message that they are trying to put out, I think is great. And I stand for this. 100% I stand for this. There's differences in opinions between motorcyclists with lots of things concerning riding and safety and how the road should be used and blah, blah, blah. Even riding gear, ATGAT and all that stuff. We've done videos about all that stuff before. But these are core kind of values that motorcyclists have. And any motorcyclist that's been riding for, I don't know, not even a long period of time, will know what the benefits are of riding bikes. And this is what they're trying to do. They're trying to let everyone know how important riding motorcycles really is and how important it could be going forward for things like congestion and all that other stuff that we've mentioned, or that they've mentioned rather. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below about these statements here, and let me know if there's anything that you think they should be doing more, what they should be pushing more, if there's anything they should be pushing that's a little bit differently here. And, you know, because I think the more input we have into this stuff, the more positive the message is, the better. And motorcycles have such a positive message. It's you know, people think it's rebellious and it's bad boy attitude, and it's not. Death Wish, it's not. We're just normal people. We really are normal people, but because we are not afraid of motorcycles, as a lot of people are, we're not afraid of them, we are able to understand the benefits that they have in everyday life to anyone. The vast majority of people can benefit from riding bikes. And I don't think that's an opinion. I think that is not subjective. What's the opposite of subjective? Objective. That's what I'm looking for. Objective. I think that is an objective analysis of the situation. Be really interesting if there was a study done on all this kind of stuff, but it's clear as day for us. It really is. And unless you've had a really bad experience on bikes or something related to motorcycles which has put you off, then maybe that's going to override that idea or these positive ideas. But if you are one of those people, honestly, don't shy away from bikes all because of one negative experience you had. Don't be afraid to get back on it again. Honestly, it's such a it's a life changer. It really is. Being involved in bikes and using bikes, and the amount of involvement that I've had in bikes, the industry, the culture, the more and more I realise how important it is. And I just wish that more and more people had this opportunity to experience this kind of stuff. And it kind of tends to fall to more the enthusiasts, if you know what I mean. Whereas that's not the case. It's anyone that gets involved in bikes can immediately start getting the benefits of riding them. Immediately. And you'll start seeing that straight away. But anyway, everyone, I think I'm babbling on a little bit too long now, but thank you ever so much for watching this one. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below, and let me know if there's anything that we could be adding to this positive message, because there's been lots of negative stuff going on. I don't like doing negative stuff, but it gets views. You know what I mean? The negative stuff gets views, but I don't like doing negative stuff. I want to do positive stuff and more positive stuff. So the more of you that watch this, the more of you that like it, the more I can keep doing this more positive kind of stuff. So please leave that like, hit that subscribe button and that notification bell as well, and let me know what you think down in the comment section about what we've discussed in today's video and how you think we can do more to push this positive message around bikes. But thanks again, take care, ride safe, and we'll catch you all in the next video, everyone.